Hi everyone, today we're going to be doing a brief introduction to coding with CodeHS. CodeHS is a really cool website to allow anyone, and specifically children, to learn JavaScript in a fun and interactive way. And today we're just going to be trying out one of the challenges from the basic JavaScript course. And the way the course works is that you'll have lessons and you'll have challenges which you can try and learn from. So today's exercise will be 7.1.4, and the goal is basically to create a function in JavaScript that, when given a parameter, will output the square of that function. What's a square? Square means the number times itself. So for example, if we input 5, then we should print out the output of 25. Okay, so 5 times 5. And the most critical instruction that we're given is that the function should be named square. So let's give it a try. Once we accept the challenge, we enter the HS interface, which is basically the area here where we're going to be writing our code. And here on the right, we have the option to check again what the assignment was, to run our code, to check our code, and lots more information. So let's start off. So first of all, we know that we need a function that will be called square. So if you have any knowledge in JavaScript or you remember from previous lessons, we need to declare our function. So that would be function square, and it's going to take a parameter, and it's going to execute a function. So let's call the parameter that our square function will take x. And now we basically have to figure out how to output the square of x. So what we could do is we could declare another variable. Let's call it y, and y will be x times x, which is basically the power of x. And then we will return y. Okay, so this is a very basic function. And if we check our code, okay, we will see that we got some things right, but we got some things wrong as well. So we wrote a square function, and it starts with lowercase. These are all styling things. We see that we didn't get the result that we want. And if we take a look here on the left, it seems that we are being asked to print this output and not return it. Okay, so let's try and change this to printing. And let's try checking our code again. Okay, so now we see that the output is correct. So the function is returning what we want, but we have a small style mistake, is that we didn't add the semicolons here at the end of each line. So let's test that again. And we're getting all green. So that means we basically finished this challenge and we can submit it. But let's take another few minutes to look into how we can improve our code. So, for example, if the challenge was to reach a higher power, so now we're here at x to the power of 2, but let's say we wanted to do the power of 3 or the power of 4, so we could keep on adding times x times x times x, but we can also use another function, which is the math pow function. So let's say math.pow, and then we will want to give a parameter and the power. And now if you check this code, you will see we get also all green. Okay, so this is another slightly more efficient way of getting the power of x. And one more thing we can do before we submit our code is try to make our code a little more concise, because we'll always want our code to be as short as possible. So instead of declaring a variable up here and then printing that variable, we can actually just take this whole argument and place it instead of our variable and erase this line. And now if we check our code, we can see that we are still getting everything correct. So now we have a great, concise code that is a function that's called square, and when you enter a parameter, it will raise it to the power of 2. So now what we can do is submit. Great job, our program works, and we are done with this challenge. And basically what we'll do is move on to the next challenge or the next lesson. So I hope you enjoyed this introduction to CodeHS. It's a really cool website, and we might have some more videos explaining more about coding and different cool websites you can use to learn coding. So see you next time.